On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally I'm on the road, dropped off our friend Michelle, and we headed back to the man cave in a bit. But I want to get my morning thoughts in here. And last night, I've been doing some soul searching. Listening to a lot of people, you got Stephen A. Smith saying that Micah Parsons needs to shut up because he's messing up his money and things. A lot of fans have been tired of him having the podcast and everything else. People say we need to trade him and stuff. Well, I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna say there is the BI, Micah Parsons, and the AI, Micah Parsons. There's the BI, which is the before the injury this year. Because I look at it like this. Micah Parsons, up until that point, had everything go the right way. He had his podcast. He was always all pro, in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. Everything seemed like it came easy. But see, in life, a lot of times what has to happen is you need to struggle. You need to actually hit rock bottom to affect change. And with the way this year went, this year you have to say is rock bottom. And I'm going to get to what we really need to do as Cowboy fans. But we have to close the book. And we got to start over. But Micah Parsons, the things that he is saying, they're not bad things at all. Now, granted, he's kind of kissed up to Jerry Jones saying he's a great GM, of course, because he's trying to get his contract. But he's also recognizing that we can't wait to get these things done. He wants to get paid so he gets that big bonus money before training camp starts. The Cowboys, they always like to wait till training camp to sign the big contracts. I guess they figure you're going to go out and spend all this money and you might get in trouble or something. I don't know what it is, but that's the Cowboys' way. Milk these contracts, get people thinking that you're going to trade them and this, that, and the other. But Micah Parsons recognizes we've got Osa and Digazula that we need to bring back. That there's guys like Myles Garrett that would help me be the best player I can be and ultimately achieve what I want. So is an extra $4 or $5 million more important for me than it is for me to have a team that can challenge to be great and a Super Bowl champion? And in the end, after 30 years of the Dallas Cowboys aptitude, if and whenever that team breaks through, you truly will be considered a god. You will be able to write your own check. You will definitely live in mortality or mortality? Live in mortality? Immortality. You'll be immortal, okay? Not like the immortals that were in the 300, because they all got killed by the 300. But, you understand what I'm saying. And that's what he recognizes. He understands. He's been here long enough to know that the organization is falling to get to that point. Now, he's recognized that, this is not necessarily the best thing for me, having a new defensive coordinator for the third year in a row, but recognizes he's got to get himself even better than what he's been for the betterment of the team. All the good things. I don't know how anybody could look at those things that he's saying and say, that's a bad thing. Did you look at those things and say it's a bad thing, maybe?
No, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, just say you agree.
I agree.
See, she agrees with me.
Yeah.
Here's the other part that is hard to say. It's really hard to say. It's so hard to say I can't even think of how to say it. But we need to turn our back on everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. I realize, I've kind of mentioned this a couple of times, that we've had a complete role reversal of where we used to be with the Eagles. We used to always joke about the Eagles players, like we'd have the jokes like, oh, okay, ain't an Eagle fan because she ain't looking for a ring, or we call them the ringless wonders. Stupid jokes like that, because we always made fun of them for not having what we had. And they, in turn, would go back to their world champions that were like 1947, 48, and 60. And they say, oh, well, we got those. Bro, that's us now. We're still living on Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and all of the glory things that they did. And that's always been our fallback. Well, we got to look at this as a point of, we got to turn the page on that, and we got to start writing some new chapters. That shit that we keep speaking, it's old. Our players that were great, they're old. The way the Cowboys have been doing business, especially Jerry Jones, is still trying to do things the way we did in the 90s. But the game has changed. It has evolved. And as long as we keep living in the past, we're never going to be able to do anything in the future. Understand, I'm a guy who loves history. I love learning from the past. As they always say, those who do not learn from the past are destined to repeat it in the future. I don't know that the Joneses have learned anything from the past, because they just keep repeating everything over and over and over again. When I saw an ESPN setup, they were talking about, will Brian Schottenheimer be different? And they showed all the coaches that we've had since Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer. And you just look at that and say, coach after coach after coach after coach that has just been the lapdog for Jerry Jones. We have an opportunity right now to change things with Brian Schottenheimer, to give him autonomy to go ahead and implement what he wants to do. What I really wanted to put on this, but it was copywritten. You may have seen the movie, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. And if you haven't, watch it. It's back in the 80s. It was funny as could be. But there's a guy, he wasn't Fly Guy.
Huggy.
Okay, right. He was Huggy Bear. But they called him Fly Guy. Fly Guy went in jail during the 70s. And he finally gets out. And when he gets out, he's got all of his stuff that he was wearing when he went in. So he had his Superfly hat and everything else with like the zebra prints on it, okay? It has goldfish platform shoes, okay? And he's strolling down the steps. He knows he's bad. He knows he's cool, right? And he gets out on the street, and people look at him, and they start laughing at him. Look at that! He's got goldfish in his shoes! And he starts looking around and realizing, wait a minute, I'm no longer cool. I'm a joke. People, that's us. We ain't cool no more. We are a joke. It's hard now to even find on the talking shows content about the Cowboys. We don't drive the needle anymore. We are irrelevant in everything, which is why we have to stop living in the past and move on. It's hard to say because, I've lived all of the great years. I remember seeing Tony Dorsett rush for 99 yards against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football with only 10 guys on the field for the Cowboys. I remember the Hail Mary. I remember every single Super Bowl win.
It's just a Super Bowl.
I am, exactly, yeah. Next year, Super Bowl 60. I'll be 60. But we're living in this whole thing of what we used to be. And now we've got to go ahead and create a new path. I don't know if the Joneses are willing to do that, but they got to let go of all that shit they used to do and start coming up with the next thing. Does that make any sense, baby?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
A little bit.
That's what she said. It's just a little bit.
Not fun.
It wouldn't be if it was just a little bit. Alrighty, good people. I hope y'all have. Like, she's looking at me like, I can't believe I married this mug. Alright, good people. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the road later. Peace out.